Hello and welcome to Respections. It's part 2, the show where we spotlight the people and programs creating real impact right here in the Bronx. I'm your host, Denise Gomez-Green, and today we're here to explore an important conversation around financial access and economic empowerment in our community. I'm honored to be joined by two of our passionate advocates here in our community. Jumelia Abrahamson, Director of Programs at University Neighborhood Housing Program and board member at Lower East Side People's Federal Credit Union, and Gregory Jost, Policy and Campaigns Advisor at Banana Kelly Community Improvement Association and the convener of the Bronx Financial Access Coalition, better known as BXFAC. Welcome once again. It's part 2, and we're so happy to have you. The Lower East Side People's Federal Credit Union is one of the city's low-income credit unions, serving neighborhoods long excluded and exploited by mainstream banks. The credit union was established in 1986 because the Lower East Side was a banking desert and is still today, almost 40 years later. LESPFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit financial institution. It has made sure to offer safe, affordable, and democratic alternatives to traditional banks. It feels strongly about affordable financial services as a right, not a privilege. This past December, we opened a new branch on 941 Intervale Avenue in the South Bronx, another banking desert area. They currently have 4 locations: East Harlem, North Shore, Staten Island, and now the Bronx. LESPFCU has never been afraid to enter markets where we know there is a need for financial assistance. What an introduction, ladies and gentlemen. We had quite the engaging conversation in part 1, and here we are for part 2. I can't wait to hear how much more of what the Lower East Side's People's Federal Credit Union is doing for our community. And it's important. We spoke about the importance of the credit union. We also spoke about, yes, it's important to have a bank account, but there are benefits to having and being a member in a credit union. So what more would you like to share with us today?
Well, one of the great things about being in a member-owned cooperative is that everybody has a voice and a vote. I think the last time we talked a little bit, with the big banks, they're pretty much all privately traded Wall Street corporations. So the votes are by people who own shares, and the more money you have, the more shares you have, the more say you have. So it privileges the people who are already very, very wealthy. On the flip side, in a member-owned cooperative, there's a principle that comes out of a long history of people who were formerly enslaved that they fought for, which was one person, one vote. And no matter how much money you have, that's kind of the democratic principle that is alive in Lower East Side People's Federal Credit Union. And so coming up next month in July, I think, is it the 16th?
July 16th at 4 p.m. Yeah.
At 4 p.m. is going to be the Lower East Side People's Federal Credit Union annual meeting. And since the pandemic, it has switched over to Zoom, doing it virtually. But that's also makes it much more accessible to any of the members anywhere around the city.
That's true.
To join. And there's a report that's given by the staff, our CEO. Isa2 Barry Fall, who has been with the credit union for decades, and has a great story of her own of how she got involved in the credit union and trained as a teller, originally by someone who ran a credit union here in the Bronx many years ago, and worked her way up into this position. So she'll give a report, and then there will be a vote on the slate for the board of directors. And so everyone gets to vote on the representation and see who's up for a vote, and so that people like Jumelia, who are from our neighborhoods and have some expertise, but also a passion for the work, are the ones that are making some of those decisions at a board level.
Wonderful.
And then there's a lot of other fun things that happen. There's some scholarships that are given out, some prizes, some raffles, and it's a fun time too, and an opportunity for people to ask questions of the staff, and it's a great opportunity for everyone to participate.
Yes.
And as we have an election coming up here, primaries in New York City, we all go out, we're encouraging people to vote. That's not the only way to participate in a democracy. When you're part of a cooperative, you get to be involved in this kind of democratic decision-making process as well.
Yeah. And I was about to say, is there a cutoff age for the scholarships?
So the scholarship is for a high school student going into their second year, either they're getting their associate or their bachelor. So I'm not sure if it's tied to age.
I thought about just
Maybe high school seniors.
Maybe high school seniors, but I'm not sure if you're going for your your second degree, if you can still apply.
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm not sure, but we can verify it on their website.
Definitely high school seniors are in the mix. That's what I do know for certain.
So the website's lespeoples.org. So people can visit the website, know more about what we've covered today, the different products, but also find out how to become members, how to attend the annual meeting that Greg just mentioned, which will be held on July 16th at 4 p.m. You can register for the Zoom. That's one way to exercise your voice and let us know what products do you think are needed here in the Bronx. If you don't see it currently on the products that the credit union currently has available, make a suggestion. Like, let us know what is it that would be the most impactful in our community to bring change. And other ways you can connect with the staff and with us is through any of the mobile branch day. We have our own coalition website on BFAC as well. So there's different ways to connect. You can set up appointments with the branch staff, and the branch staff is amazing. We had mentioned Jose Hernandez already, the branch manager, but there you can meet with the rest of the staff that's bilingual. Many of them are from the community, but everyone is culturally sensitive, so you shouldn't feel uncomfortable to go up and talk to them, no matter where you are in your financial journey. So you can have $5 to contribute, $25 to open the account is what's going to get you started, but if your next deposit is only $5, that's okay. If your next deposit is a little larger, that's fine. So they're used to talking to people with different income, different brackets, different source of income, so you shouldn't feel uncomfortable by having those conversations.
I like that, because then no matter how much they have, they'll walk in with pride to deposit into their credit union account.
Correct.
Because people often see savings as large numbers. So they don't understand that the principle, as we know it in my culture, every mickle makes a muckle.
Correct.
Yes.
Getting started. It's a muscle that you need to flex. So just saving $5 each week, each month is better than zero.
That's right.
That's how you fatten the pig, right?
Wonderful. So let's talk about, I like that. Let's talk about the products and services in greater detail, because we know from loans to financial counseling, there must be some tools and resources that the members can expect.
Yeah, so there's, like I mentioned, there's everything that the traditional banks offer. So checking, savings, credit cards, loans, but these are available at a lower rate. And one particular product that I really like to promote is a vacation loan. Sometimes people feel that they cannot go on vacation because they don't make enough money, they don't have enough saved. So the credit union has that in mind and has created a vacation loan where you can borrow up to $10,000 if you want an extravagant vacation, or if you have a lot of people in your family.
As I say, if you have a big family.
And rates could be as low as 6.9% annually, and you can repay it between under 24 months. So you can decide the term. And that makes it accessible. Like, I'm going to go on a trip, I need this much, and then I'm going to take some time to pay it back within the next year or the next 2 year, in a rate that's comfortable for me, and it's not going to put me in further debt. So that's always the intent. How can we live and enjoy our life without being indebted to someone, which is important.
Which is what a lot of people do or have done.
Yeah. And if you have, for instance, if you were to just put that on a credit card, so New York State, at least it has a, what we call a usury cap of, it has loans, you can't have an annual percentage rate above 25%. That's why many credit cards come in at 24.99%. So if you're not able to pay off that full balance, you're going to be paying often 24.99% interest on whatever money you've borrowed, as opposed to what Jumelia was talking, you could get a loan in the ballpark of 7% here if you're planning and you're thinking about it and have an intention, right, to not be taken advantage of in that way. Yeah, so I think when you start to compare the numbers and do the math, like, oh, wow, this is gonna, I can still do that thing that's important for my family, for us to maintain our bond and see each other and maybe visit people back home, wherever, you know, whatever that looks like, and take that time off that's so valuable for our own, you know, humanity, right? And not have it just be a luxury for the very well-to-do. And at the same time, not get ripped off, right? Have it be done in a responsible way that
you can pay it back quickly.
Yeah, and
because it's not just interest, you're paying into the principal in each month.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I know that people in our community, sometimes they get so excited and the novelty sometimes wears off. But how do you, when someone comes into your branch, to say, hey, you have to be consistent. If you have a plan, you have to stick to it.
Well, I think at the Lower East Side, they're very intentional of making sure that people understand the products, but that they're also connecting with a financial coach. So being in New York City, every New Yorker has access to a financial coach for free and confidentially through the Financial Empowerment Center. So if you call 311 and just request financial empowerment support, you can be assigned a financial coach. And through the credit union, you can connect with either of one of their branches, or we're hoping that soon at the Bronx branch, we can have a counselor directly there, where you can align your goals, your financial goals, with a timeline. Because if you're not driven and motivated to achieve those goals, it's going to be harder to keep up. It's almost like exercising. You're not going to get up in the morning or at night to work out unless your goals are SMART. Usually, they have to be specific, measurable, and with a time frame, so you can continue going through them. And there's different products. So we just spoke about the vacation loan, but there's also, if you're looking to save, not take lending or more loans into practice, the credit union offers a holiday club. And some people from back home are familiar with holiday clubs where you save a certain portion based on how much you think you're going to spend come Christmas and the holidays. How much are you going to spend on gifts? So if you think you're going to spend about $2,000, how long would it take you to save those $2,000 in the beginning of the year? So you can set up a holiday club account. So that way when December comes in January, you're not indebted. So that's another option out there.
I think this just sent the numbers up.
And then if you're not indebted, then when you get your tax return, which, you know, that's the other part, is accessing free tax preparation services, then you get to keep all of that refund and do something new and plan and put that into savings and pay it forward. And one of our slogans that we have, and if you come into the branch and you become a member at the Bronx branch, we have a limited supply of, but while supplies last, we have these beautiful tote bags that say, build wealth, not debt.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that. So tell me, what is the process like to become a member?
Yeah, so you can walk into the branch itself here in the Bronx. Or you can find us at one of the mobile branch days at the different locations that we have. And it's 3 simple steps. You need a proof of your ID, so that shows your address and that it's valid, it's current, not expired. Proof of address where you're receiving mail, that it's within the 30 days, and then $25 to open an account. So those 3 simple things, ID, proof of address, and $25 gets you going, and then you have access to the array of the products we mentioned. And like Greg said, including free tax preparation come tax season.
And I just want to clarify also for folks that it's actually $75 to start up, but we, as the Bronx Financial Access Coalition, have fundraised to help create a pot of money for people to have a $50 bonus to sign up if you're connected with one of our organizations here in the Bronx, so one of the select partner groups, or if you walk into the branch, you're connected to Banana Kelly or University Neighborhood Housing Program or WEDCO or Nos Quedamos or some of the other groups that are becoming select partner groups. There are a number of other organizations that are jumping on the bandwagon because they see this is a good thing for their members and their and their volunteers, their staff as well. We've been encouraging our staff members, our supers, to join as well. And then you can access that $50 sign-up bonus, so you only need the $25 to get started. So we're trying to remove some of those barriers and hurdles to create some incentives for people while supplies last. I just have to qualify that. If you're watching this sometime in the future, 5 years, you may need the 75.
Yes, yes. But tell me, how are you spreading the word?
Well, some of it's out on the street. We continue to do street outreach. We have our staff members, our volunteers who are out in the neighborhoods talking it up with people, our people who are coming in for other services and products that our organizations offer already, right? So that's the thing, is that most of our organizations have been around for at least 25 years, 35, 40 years. So we have long established roots and connections with people in the neighborhood. So we're talking it up with our staff, with our volunteers, with our residents, with our clients, people who are coming for other things. And then we're going out and talking to people on the street. We're showing up at other events that if there's a back to school event that a group is hosting, we'll have.
You're there.
We'll be there, And the mobile branch, which this is another reason we really saw this partnership with Lower East Side Peoples as a great model, is that they had recently put into service a mobile branch van that can go out, and it's beautifully painted. It's got like some of the logos and everything, and it's got this great office space inside the van. You can go in and start your account there. So we'll go around and drive, and I think one of the first days we were out driving in Hunts Point, and one of the guys that worked at one of the auto glass places was like, "Oh, I'm already a member, Lower East Side." And it was great just to see, like, sometimes people see it on the street and they're curious, like, "Oh, what is this? What is this? Let me have it." And then we get to have conversations with people. And some people are ready to go right from the beginning, and other people, it takes a few conversations, right? It's getting past all
and
of that.
these conversations we've been having for years. They're not new, even though this partnership is relatively new.
Yes.
At our own shops, we've been having conversations around finance and empowerment and reducing fees and tax filing. So when we're talking to people about those other programs, it's making the connection, like, hey, I see that you're paying $12 at this other bank to keep your money, and you just share that at the end of the month you don't have enough. How can we give you alternatives? So it's not just become a member of the Lower East Side, but how can we look at your whole financial picture to make sure that you're reducing some of those fees.
And what about testimonials?
Yeah, we have several of those. So if you find us on social media, we've posted many of those photos, and Greg and I are members ourselves. Our children are members. So that's a great testimony on how do we use the product. The Lower East Side has a mobile branch similar to the big traditional bank, so you can keep track of your funds through the app itself, and you can use any of the local ATMs inside the McDonald's, the 7-Eleven, affiliated with other credit unions. So it's part of a larger movement. It's not just a isolated branch in the Bronx.
Yeah, I got you.
And it's part of like those deeper conversation of like, how can I do better? How can I save? How can I use credit properly to my best interest so I can build wealth and talking about generational, breaking those generational poverty curses
like
sometimes that we think about it. Like,
that's true.
We have control, and
Yes.
the power comes back to us.
Especially when we recognize that we're not alone. And I think that's it. When you're in a cooperative, and the credit union likes to partner with other cooperatives as well. There's a driver's co-op that started up, and it was helping to refinance a lot of folks who've been driving with the big rideshare companies like Lyft and Uber, who had gotten very high cost auto loans. And that was eating into the very small amounts of money they were able to make while working very long hours.
Yes.
So by refinancing into a low cost auto loan, instantly, right, their monthly payments went down and the amount of money they were taking home went up. And some of that's done through, again, networks of other cooperatives, cooperative home care associates. We have some very large worker-owned cooperatives in the Bronx that, you know, people understand that. And then, you know, even our buildings. So some of our buildings are rentals, but other ones are, we work also with what are called limited equity cooperatives, which are affordable co-ops. And so working with folks who are already part of some kind of co-op here or there, it's like, come in and we're just going to extend this to another realm where, remember, like, as we work on breaking generational curses or whatever you want to call them, right?
Yes.
Like, we're only going to do this in community, and we're going to build community wealth at the same time that you can also build individual wealth. Right, for you and your family.
And I know you are promoting and you have your mobile vans and so on, but have you done, like, say, a town hall where you have advertised people come into one space and just talk to you?
So we're getting
go ahead.
We're getting ready for some summer events now that it's warmer.
Right.
With the mobile branch, and there will be a member event sometime in the summer at the branch. So the location is 941 Intervale Avenue. There's an open house also happening in East Harlem. That branch is having their open house on July 2nd from 1 to 3.
Yeah, I was just going to say we've done a couple, when we launched the mobile branch, we did a big event in Melrose, right across, very close to here by Boricua College Plaza. And when we opened the branch, we did a ribbon cutting out on the street on Intervale Ave. That was a lot of fun. And, you know, we'll partner with other groups as well and some other different coalitions. There was one of the coalitions that Banana Kelly is part of. We did a town hall on what's called the New York State Public Banking Act. And we were talking about what if, you know, because the city of New York and other municipalities puts a lot of money on deposit in the very big, largest banks. And what we were saying is that then we don't have much control over what they do with it. And the city has a resource. They could put money into a public bank. And then that could invest in things like community development credit unions and other things that we think would be beneficial for our neighborhood. So we participated in that town hall at the Bronx Library Center. That was a couple years ago. But we tag team together and we work on policy initiatives because we think there are things that we can do better as a state and as a city that will help promote and elevate community development financial institutions, community development credit unions, and help keep New Yorkers safe from high cost loans and fees. We've been working on a bill that's called ELSA, which is the End Loan Sharking Act, which we think would do also add a lot of protections for people. One of the newest flavors, we've had check cashers and pawn shops for decades, right? But now you can also access these very high cost predatory loans on your phone, on an app. And they disguise it and they don't call it a loan. They call it earned wage access, but they have APRs of 300%. Short-term loans, small dollar loans, they're kind of like what we would call payday loans. And right now they haven't been fully regulated in the state. So we're trying to also do some work in those areas to help, and as we go out and we talk about those, it's important that we then talk about, well, what's the alternative? Because people are in tough situations. They need to get access to funds. So that's where it's so important that we talk about the credit union and this model because that is the alternative.
Well, I tell you, the Lower East Side's People's Federal Credit Union is doing things, breaking barriers. Everybody's talking about them, and it's about time you do the same. I tell you, it's been very, very enlightening, informative, and I know the members are, there's a sense of pride, and the more you connect with the community, it's the greater the membership will grow, the credit union will become a force to be reckoned with in our community. And I commend you both for the knowledge that you have and that you have shared on this part two, which I found so enlightening and impactful. It's amazing. And we want to wish you all the best. And I know this will not be a one-shot deal. I'm sure you will have more products and services to share as the organization continues to grow. So congratulations.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
On what you're doing here in our community. Part two has been a phenomenal experience. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for tuning in to Respections. Quite the unique name, but it has such a message because they're bringing the voices here for you to know how much is going on in your community. So we'd like to thank Julia Abrahamson and Gregory Jost for being a part of today's program. And we're looking forward to seeing you back next week for something new. Who is in the pipeline? We don't know, but you'll be told. So thank you so much. I've been your host, Denise Gomez-Green. Have yourselves a fabulous day today. And don't forget, every mickle makes a muckle. Put away something. Thank you for joining us.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.